Are you thinking about getting your real estate license in Pennsylvania, but you just don't know where to start? Well, in this video, I'm going to go through a complete step-by-step guide that I wish I had when I first got my license. My name is Chris. I'm a licensed real estate agent. I've been licensed for the past 10 years. I'm also a team leader and real estate coach that's been able to help hundreds of people get started and get their license. Before we dive into the video, I do want to tell you about our real estate license starter kit. Everything in this video plus a lot more is inside that guide. It's completely free to download, so make sure to click the link down in the description and grab your free copy. I think it will be very helpful. And by the way, there's also a link to my favorite real estate school. And the reason I like this school so much is that they offer a pass or don't pay guarantee. And this is important because a lot of people fail the real estate exam, and this company really believes they can help you pass. So if you want to check them out, there is an affiliate link down below in the description as well with different sales and discounts on their classes. So make sure to check that out as well. So the very first step to getting your Pennsylvania real estate license is just meeting some of the basic requirements. In Pennsylvania, you're required to be 18 years old or older. You must have a high school diploma or a GED, and you must be a legal US resident or citizen. Another important note is you must be able to pass a background check. So if there's something on your record that might prevent you from getting licensed, make sure to reach out to the Real Estate Commission and have that conversation ahead of time. From there, we move on to step number 2, and that's completing your real estate pre-license education classes. In the state of Pennsylvania, you're required to complete 75 hours of state-approved classes. Now, I know that sounds like a ton of time to invest, and it truly is, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job or just a busy lifestyle in general. So the good news is you have a couple options to complete these classes. You can do them in person or you can do them online. And I actually recommend the online option because they're much more flexible. You eliminate all the time driving back and forth to the real estate school, and you still get the great support that you need with instructors and people to ask questions to that you would in a classroom setting. So I definitely recommend the online route, but if you like in person, you can also do in person. During these classes, you're gonna learn a ton of new things. So it's not time wasted. You're gonna learn real estate law, real estate math, real estate finance. And these are all things you're gonna need to pass your real estate exam, but they're also things you're gonna use when you're out in the field practicing real estate. Now, once you complete your pre-license education, it's time to schedule and pass your exam. In Pennsylvania, the exams are administered through PSI exams. And the best way to schedule is to go on their website or simply give them a call. Just make sure to give them at least 24 hours notice. Now, once you get to the testing center on test day, you're gonna wanna bring a couple basic things. The first thing is 2 forms of identification. This can be a US passport, a driver's license, a debit card, a credit card. All these things will work, but just make sure to bring 2. The second thing you want to bring is a basic non-scientific calculator. And this is for the math portion of the exam. And believe me, you're going to be thankful you brought it when you get to that section of the exam, and it is super helpful to have. So make sure you bring that as well. So now you're probably wondering, once you get into the testing center, what should you expect? What is the exam actually like? Well, the good news is it's all multiple choice. The bad news is it's written in a way that is really going to make you think. And if you try to fly through this exam and don't take your time with it, you could end up failing because the questions are written in a way that are a little bit tricky. So make sure to pay attention, make sure to read each question multiple times before you finally submit your answer, and then move forward. Another important note about the exam itself is the exam is broken into 2 separate parts. You have a state portion and you have a national portion of the exam. Now, you have to pass both portions of the exam. If you fail one and pass the other, the good news is you only have to come back and retake the portion that you failed. So what does a passing score actually look like? Well, in Pennsylvania, you have to get a 75% score or higher to pass the exam. Now, if you did fail the exam, don't beat yourself up too much because so many people fail this exam the first time around. And it doesn't mean you're going to be a bad real estate agent. In fact, I know many top producing real estate agents that are super successful that actually failed this exam multiple times. So it doesn't have any correlation to if you're gonna be good or bad. It just means you have to go study a little bit harder and give this another try. Definitely don't give up. Now, if you did pass the exam, it's time to celebrate because you're one step closer to getting your license and we only have a couple steps left. And that takes us to step number 4, which is doing your background check and your fingerprinting. Now in Pennsylvania, it's done through the Pennsylvania State Police criminal check. So you're gonna wanna get that done, and then we're gonna move forward to our next step, which is doing your license application. The way to do your license application is to apply directly through the Pennsylvania Real Estate Commission. And what you're gonna wanna do with your license application is you wanna send in a couple important things. The very first thing is our passed and completed state-approved pre-license education classes. Then we're gonna get our real estate exam with a passing score of 75% or higher. And then we're gonna get proof that we had our background check done, put it all together with our license application, and then send it out. Then we're gonna move on to the next step, which is picking your sponsoring broker. Now, this step is super exciting, but it's also super important, because if you pick the wrong sponsoring broker, you might set yourself way back, or worst case, you might not get the guidance and support you need, and you might fail out of the business. So I wanna give you some of the top questions that I would ask if I was starting all over again. The first question to ask is what kind of mentorship and classes you have for new agents. The first part of that question is the mentor. Are you gonna have someone to help you one-on-one through your deals, and someone to reach out to when you need help when you're in the middle of a transaction? Believe me, when you're a new agent and you get your first deal under contract or you have to rate your first offer, it's so important to have someone there to support you, because you're nervous. You don't know if you're doing things right or you're doing things wrong, and the paperwork might not look really familiar to you, and you just don't want to make a mistake. So having someone there to help you through that at any time is really important. Another thing to ask is about the real estate classes that they offer. Do they offer classes specifically for new agents, or do they just offer general classes that are geared towards people that have been in the business for a really long time? Because they might not really apply to you as someone that's launching their business from square one. The second question to ask is, what kind of marketing are you gonna help me with? How are you gonna help me grow my business? This is a very important question, because a lot of real estate agents fail out of the business. And the reason they fail is because they can't figure out how to get clients. They can't figure out how to get new deals. So you wanna ask your broker how they're gonna help you grow and what ways they're gonna teach you to market your business. And you wanna make sure that's aligned with the way that you wanna grow your business. The next question to ask is if they have any leads or any real estate teams that offer leads, if that's something that you wanna participate in. Some brokerages have teams within their office that provide real estate leads, and you might be able to apply to join those teams if you wanna grow your business in that way. And the last question to ask is about the fees and the commission splits. Now, the monthly fees when you are a part of a brokerage can really eat into your savings if you don't choose carefully. Now, let me explain. Some brokerages charge you every single month for just being a part of their brokerage and hanging your license there. Some of the fees can range anywhere from a small amount per month all the way up to a couple $100s per month. Now, there are brokerages that have $0 a month in fees, and if you're a new agent, I highly suggest you look at those as well. The second part of the question is about the commission splits. Now, commission splits are the amount that you're gonna get charged every time you make a sale. Now, this is important, but it's not the most important thing, because I see so many brand new agents just trying to go to the office that gives them the highest commission split. But what they don't realize is if they don't get the right support and training and mentorship, they're probably never gonna close a sale. So the commission split doesn't matter. Now, as a business person, you definitely wanna have the conversation and you really wanna find out what the split is. So the best way to do that is you wanna just ask them, hey, if I make a $10,000 commission, how much of that money do I actually get to keep? And this will weed through all the noise and all the royalties and the potential things they could be charging you as a new agent, and it will help you get to the bottom line of what it's actually gonna cost when you sell a sale. But don't hyper focus on that, because at the end of the day, if you don't get the support you need and you don't get the training you need, you're gonna make 100% of nothing. So I highly recommend you go to a place that's gonna support you and help you grow your business. Now that you have all the steps, you probably have some questions. And I wanna go through and answer some of the most common questions that I get on a regular basis. The first one is, how much does it actually cost to get your real estate license in Pennsylvania? Well, I would budget anywhere between $600 and $1,000 to get this done. A lot of it really depends on what classes you choose, if you decide to upgrade into any exam prep tools, which are definitely helpful, and what broker you decide to become a part of, because some brokerages have a fee to join them. So you want to budget between $600 and $1,000 to get this done, which overall, considering the potential upside of being an agent, it's really pretty low. And considering the income potential you have of being an agent, it's actually a pretty low cost to get started, if you really think about it. The next most common question I get is, how long does it actually take to get your real estate license? Well, in Pennsylvania, since you have to complete 75 hours of state-approved classes, and you're gonna wanna take some time to study, I would estimate anywhere between 2 to 4 months to get this done. If you really focus and you're dedicated and you're disciplined, you could probably get it done sooner. And if you really take your time, it might take a little bit longer, but this will give you a good estimate. Another common question that I get is the exam actually hard? And the truth is, the exam is hard. A lot of people fail the exam the first time, and in fact, many people fail the exam multiple times and never can figure out how to pass. But today, there's really no reason for that because there are so many great exam prep tools out there that can help you build that confidence that you need to pass. In fact, I remember when I was going through my licensing process and I had to read through these boring textbooks, it would just get so tiring. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to retain this information and pass because I really am not retaining this textbook because I'm just bored and I'm distracted and I don't want to be sitting here doing this. So eventually I found a exam prep tool that took me through test-like simulations and quizzed me, and I get to learn in a much more interactive way. And because of that, I was actually able to pass my exam. So I highly suggest you look at exam prep tools. There is an affiliate link down below to Compucram, which is the exam prep tool that I recommend. So I highly suggest you check them out. I think it will definitely help you build your confidence. And the last question I get is, can I start out part-time? And the reality is you definitely can start out part-time. I know many agents that started out part-time and eventually grew really big businesses. And I know other agents that started part-time and they stayed part-time and they just love doing their business that way. So whether you want to grow a big business and make a big income and make a lot of, put a lot of effort and energy into this, or you want to do it part-time and help a couple clients, you really have that option and that flexibility as an agent. And that's one of the things that I love about this business is you get to kind of create your own path and build the business the way you want to build it. So you definitely can start out part-time. So I'm sure you have some more questions. So drop them down in the comment section below and I'll get back to you ASAP. Also, make sure to subscribe because I have more content all about getting licensed and starting your real estate career coming up. Also, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. It really helps me know that the video was helpful and I definitely appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in.